Hi, thanks so much for joining me today. We'll be doing a day to evening kind of look. So I'll be starting out with Chantecaille products and then transition into Clé de Peau. We'll be starting out with Future Skin by Chantecaille. Then we'll be using a couple of their eye colors. I've got them in Sylvie and in Copper. I'll be using the lip veil in Honey Pot. This one right here with the elephant. There it is. And then a couple of products I've loved for a while by them. The bronzer, which is the Radiance Gel Bronzer, and also their Hydrating Gel Cream Blush in Lively. Oh, and this is not by Chantecaille, but I promised I'd show you this in action. It's the By Terry Mascara, the Growth Booster one. Then I go in with a couple of products by Clé de Peau. This one is in 307. It's their eye color. And then also their Refined Lip Luminizer in Sweet as Candy. I know you're curious about this one, so I'm going to try this one on for you as well. Actually, that's what I have on right now. If you'd like to see that day to evening, please keep watching. I've already applied the Clé de Peau Sheer Fluid Veil SPF 21, and I'm going to go in with a foundation. So I purchased Sand online, which is a little bit too deep for me. And I know there's a question about, okay, if that's too deep, then what is your shade? So here's Sand. So you can see it's deep and it's got a little bit of olive tone in it. So I went to the counter and I got color matched. So they said Shea was the better shade for me, which I should have picked up. So this is the one I'll be using. If you're wondering about these two, this is Sand and this is Shea. I'll be using this one today. This is a sample size, so you can kind of see that it has some structure to it. It's a little bit thicker. And I do like to use my hands with foundation just because I feel like it warms up really nicely with the warmth of my fingers. Plus I can smooth it out a little bit more evenly if I have texture on my skin or like these areas where I have pores. Really, really nice foundation. A little bit goes a long way. Like this sample would last me, gosh, I think weeks at this point. Every time I'm taking a little bit, it's just like, that's how much I'm taking. So it's a very small amount. Really trying to see how much coverage I can get right here, which is, you know, is where I need the most coverage. So I'm trying to focus it kind of on the center part of my face. Now usually I'll take a beauty blender into this if I have streaks or if I see that something doesn't look like it's even. And in this case, it looks pretty good. I'll go in with a beauty blender after I do my concealer though. So that's definitely the right color match. So if you were wondering, yeah, this is definitely would be too dark for me, especially right now, but this one, the shea color is much better. Really nice going on. It feels like skin-like. It doesn't look like it's sitting on my skin. It just melded really nicely with my skin. Yeah, really great color match too. I wish I had gotten that one in the first place. Yeah, not quite sure what I'm going to do with this one now, but I'm going to just conceal and I'll be right back to do the rest of it. So yeah, I think it does a nice job of skin-like foundation. And it does a nice job of covering too. Pretty substantial. Because if you saw the before and I mean, if you saw what it looked like at first. Yeah, very nice. So it added some coverage, but it didn't make that area dense in terms of pigmentation, if that makes any sense. So sometimes when you add foundation to darker areas, it'll look worse. So if you've tried that, you know what I'm talking about. This one didn't do that. It just covered really nicely without looking like it's packed on or affecting that color too much. So I'm just gonna conceal under eye area and then these areas, and I'll be right back. Back with a little bit more than concealer. So I concealed, let's see, I used under the eyes my Giorgio Armani concealer in 6.5. And then I went in on the face part, right, the dark areas with this in combination with Deep Peach by Urban Decay. Then I went over that with a little bit of my Clé de Peau, just because I like the finish on this. It is really beautiful once it warms up. I powdered, of course, with a little bit of the Retouching Loose Powder by Bobbi Brown, the peach one, just on those darker areas, the rest of my face. I went ahead and powdered the rest, just the center, because I'm going to use some cream products on the exterior. Airbrush Flawless Finish, look at that, I'm hit pan already. 2 by Charlotte Tilbury. This is something I'll purchase over and over. I noticed there was still a little bit of darkness showing through, so I went in with a powder foundation just on very strategic parts, like just dotting this on Cover FX. And this is in G50. So that's kind of what went on there. Went ahead and did eyebrows. I've got the Anastasia in Ash Brown. And then I did some little fine work with the Dior pencil in 002 with this one. And then Glossier Boy Brow. I looked at the foundation in the mirror. That looks really nice. So hopefully you can see that luminosity. Usually what happens is after like a good hour or so, the foundation really starts to look good. Once I set it with powder, it takes a second for everything to kind of meld together with my skin. So if you have that issue where it's looking a little bit like makeup-y upon initial application, especially when you set it, sometimes just a little bit of time will help everything come together. So we're gonna go in with the Mermaid Eye Matte, yeah, that's right, in Sylvie, this color. I'm gonna swatch it for you here, just so you can see. That's what it looks like. It's like a taupey color. And you'll see I'll do one eye at a time. This is really nice just to even out the eyelid color. Not much shimmer on this. There's a slight sheen to it, which makes it look more like skin-like in terms of its reflective quality. So you don't see any particles. So it says matte, but it doesn't look completely matte. So there's the difference between the two. It's very, very minimal, but I think for every day, it's nice because I usually will wear this on the weekends too. Say we're going out to brunch or just walking downtown. Yeah, we met friends last weekend for brunch and it was kind of like a no makeup kind of thing. Really quick, you can use your fingers to apply it. Nice finish. So that's it. It just evens out the skin tone. It's definitely a cooler tone on me. More like what is the color? Like a pebbly taupey color. I'm gonna go in next with the Mermaid eye color in Copper. Now again, I know that I love the Laura Mercier Copper, but this is not the same kind of coppery color. There it is. It's much more close to this tone than say that coppery color. I'm just gonna go in on the center of my lids with this. So there's a little bit of a reflective quality. Again, super subtle. Something you can detect more in real life than on camera, but see how much we can do to get you to be able to see that. I'm gonna go ahead in the waterline too with this. And I tried this and I'm just gonna take my finger. You might wanna take a brush if you're concerned about like sanitary type of things. But I wash my hands, I just wash my hands. So they are clean. I'm just dotting that. And I like to do that just to brighten that area. And I like this one because it's not too reflective. I use Copper by Laura Mercier quite a bit here, and it just, the light hits it and it's really visible, but this is a little bit more subdued. So here's the difference. Just very, very slight. But again, I think for every day, it's nice when it's makeup that's not too obvious sometimes. So you can see that something's been done, not quite sure what. Now I'm gonna go in with just the slightest bit of eyeliner. I looked at their eyeliners and I didn't see anything that was catching my eye, so I'm gonna go in with something I've been using lately. The Marc Jacobs Midnight in Paris eyeliner. I think I used this in the last one too, but I just like to dot it along the lash line here. Really, really gentle. I'm also going to run this along my lash line on top. Really softly. Mostly on the outer third as well. Because of my eye shape, it's a bit rounded, so if I go all the way around, it's going to look really round, like saucer-like. Just the slightest. I'm not going to tightline for this daytime look, but I will for the next step. Again, very, very minimal. We're going to go in now with a mascara that I talked about before because I think it goes really well with this kind of a look. This is the By Terry mascara, the Growth Booster one, and it's a very like nice mascara. It builds up really well, but it takes some time. I am gonna go in with this primer though, and maybe that kind of defeats the purpose, but I like this. It's the Marc Jacobs primer. New to me, I've been using it every day. And I'm gonna go in with just a thin coat. This kind of goes on really thick in case you're interested in it, but you can control it by how you apply it. So this has a really nice brush. It separates lashes really well, so if you like that separation. And what's nice about this one is it tapers off at the end. And it's that more natural kind of mascara. You can see every lash, but the buildup is slow. So that's one coat. I'm trying to go really lightly with that primer. So yeah, this is a really nice one, no clumping. I've worn it and I don't get any transfer or flaking, so it's a very nice mascara. I can't speak to the growth boosting part simply because I already use Latisse. Now if you are interested in that product, I do have a prescription, so I did consult with a doctor before I used it because there are side effects that you'll want to know about. So if you're interested, make sure you talk to a professional about it, because they will give you all of the information before you decide you want to try it. So again, I can't speak to the lash boosting piece of this. Okay, so we're just gonna stop with the one coat here, just because daytime, we want to go as minimal as possible without looking like there's too much makeup on. I'm gonna go in with a couple favorite products which are not new to me. It's the Radiance Gel Bronzer. I'm gonna take that on the back of my hand, and if you've been here before, you've seen this. I'm just gonna take an angled brush like this, dab it on the short end of the brush, the shorter side. Oops, I didn't mean the side, but you know what I mean, like this. Okay, and then I'm just gonna run it where I would normally run bronzer, on the perimeter of my face and right under the cheekbones. This blends really easily. You can use your fingers with this too. It's not like an exact kind of thing. I think it just adds a nice wash of bronze without being too much. It's more of a terracotta too. There's a little bit of pink in here against my skin tone, which I think goes well with the eyeshadow because it's a little bit cool. Here's what it looks like just so you can see it. So what looks pink on my skin tone may not look pink on your skin tone based on whatever your undertones are. So I have really warm undertones, so you don't see as much warmth from this as you might see on somebody else. Really pretty product though. I didn't powder the exterior of my face. I don't know if I said that, but I did not powder it. So that's why I'm able to put this on without any issues. Then I'm going in with a hydrating gel cream blush in Lively, this one. I'm using the same brush. Here it is on the hand, so you can see the color. Again, it looks warm here, but it's not gonna look as peachy once I put it on. So I take the longer side of the brush and just dot that on. Really natural looking. Doesn't look like you tried too hard with your makeup. Finally, we're going in with the lip veil in Honey Pot right here. It just evens out my skin tone. It's also very, very hydrating. Again, it looks much cooler on my skin tone than it looks in the swatch. So here's the swatch. See how warm it looks here? But on me, it looks pink. And what I like about this one is that it's sheer, but it also provides that nice wash of color to even out my skin tone in this area. And that's a daytime look. It's very simple and minimal. I mean, it takes almost more time though because you have to be more precise when I start doing eyeliner, I get in there and I kind of just, I'm not as precise with it. But here, since it's so strategically placed, I think it takes more time in order for it to not get too out of control. So yeah, just a really nice, natural, everyday weekend. I like this for like Saturday mornings. Very simple daytime makeup. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is take this base and turn this into an evening makeup look. I'm gonna go in with some Clé de Peau products because I had a couple more things I wanted to show you, and then also extend the eyeliner, and I'll make that a bigger thing. One of the first things I'm gonna do is tightline, because then I think this is one of those things that makes a big difference, even though it's such a small thing. So I'm just gonna run this here without going out of control. So there's the difference. That makes a big difference, but it's so small, but huge difference. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. It just intensifies those lashes without even adding another coat of mascara. This is the IT Cosmetics Waterproof Anti-Aging Gel Eyeliner. I don't know what's anti-aging about it, but okay, so there we go. Just makes those lashes look a little bit more intense. I'm going to go in with my Tom Ford eyeliner. When do I not use this? So we're just going to go make a wing, a little one. Flick it out. Okay, so now we have a little wing. So again, intensifying that, really it's that lash line and that line on the upper lid. Okay, don't do that. Wing liner is one of those things that's like unpredictable. You can do it one day and then the next day you're like, I've never done this before. Okay, we're gonna leave it there for now because I'm gonna go in and fix that with something else. I do wanna go in though with a new Clé de Peau product I picked up because I loved the eye colors so much, these pots. So I'm gonna go in with a new one I picked up. This looks black, it's 307. I'm not quite sure what it's called. Let me just swatch it for you. It's like, I think it's supposed to be a grayish color, but it looks almost navy to me. I'm gonna go with my Shoot 'N More brush. It's the two-sided one that came in a palette, which I think is just amazing. I'm gonna run this underneath my lash line with the smaller brush. I'll try and find something that has both of these. I don't think this is available as a brush itself, but it's just so good. I think I saw something that looked similar to this but on their site, but it looked kind of pricey for what it was, but I'll link it anyway. Just running this along the edge is a little way to smooth that edge out. So sometimes it's not exact. I'm going to take the bigger side of this brush and just add it on to the corner here to define that. So I'm adding it and just pulling it in. Yeah, I'm pulling it towards my nose, if that makes sense. So just placing it here and then turning it. That just defines that end a little bit here. Use my fingers to help out. Just take a fluffy brush, because I don't know what happened to my Rainbows brush, and just smooth that out really quickly. So you can see. See how it's transforming into something a little bit more dramatic. I mean, just a little bit. I'm not going overboard here today. So that's that. Really quick though, you can see how simple this is to use. Again, running it down. I try to stop before I get to halfway to my eye, again because of my eye shape. So I really want to intensify here, like the outer third on the top and the bottom, and then that's it. And then just fade it in to the rest of my eye. So even though I'm Asian, I don't know if I've ever said, I'm about a quarter to a third Chinese. My grandfather was full Chinese. My other fractions are from the Philippines, and if you know that part of the world, that includes Spanish blood, you name it. Kind of mixed up there, so I don't have traditional Asian eyes. So my eyes are a bit more round. Okay, so there is that. So I know I said I love those other two, but this is a great one just to quickly transform, because you can see what a difference that makes just to define the edges. And I really just concentrate from here to the end to intensify that eye, and then tight lined. And that's really it. I am gonna go in with this though, because I feel like this makes such a difference. I'm gonna go into the waterline with this navy. So there's the difference between putting something lighter in the waterline versus something like navy. I do go all the way to the center of my eyes for that, yeah. I mean, that makes a difference too. So subtle little things that make a big difference is kind of the name of the game today. I'm gonna go in with this though, simply because I know you want to see it, and I feel like I'm not done with my makeup now because I've been really getting into bright lips, bold lips, and this to me feels like it's not finished yet, especially with this eye, although it is a nice juxtaposition between the intensity of the eye and then the lip being a little bit less intense. I mean, it's not intense at all, it's very natural, but I do want to go in with this. Just gonna remove this. This is Sweet as Candy number 10. I do have samples of the like 4 of these other colors in this, so I will do a quick video to show you what those look like. But this is Sweet as Candy. And just make sure you exfoliate before putting this on, because it will catch anything that's dry. And then I like to take this end part of it and then just go around the edges here just to compensate for any darkness around the edges. Okay, I do also want to intensify my lashes a bit. So I'm gonna build it up with the By Terry mascara, just so you can kind of see what that looks like. So there's another coat. And I'm kind of angling them outwards as well. Okay, and one last thing, I'm just gonna do a little bit of highlighter because I love highlighter. I am using the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand, and I found that it's easier just to use this if I put it on my hand like this and then use a brush. So I'm gonna use this Hourglass brush. Just pat it on. And I've decided when I highlight, although I don't love to contour as much, I do need to because otherwise it looks, yeah, it doesn't work. So I do like to add just a little bit of contour when I highlight my nose. And that's it for the Chantecaille day and then some Clé de Peau into evening. I really like this foundation. Let me just see what it says. I didn't even go over the claims for it. An oil-free gel foundation with an ultra lightweight, refreshing texture. The buildable formula provides adjustable coverage while light reflecting pigments eases the appearance of imperfections for a naturally flawless finish. I think you could see, especially on those darker areas where those imperfections are, there was a bit of blurring. So I think what they're talking about with the reflecting pigments is very hard to detect just with the eye itself when you're looking at the product, because it must be very, very, very small because you don't see anything reflective. But I think you could see the results of how well that works when I put it over those darker areas. Again, it was easy to build up. It looks beautiful. I mean, it looks like skin. You can see some skin showing through. Of course I have to conceal, so you won't see it as well in the center of my face, but I think that you can definitely see that it looks skin-like, which, you know, I love. I'm a little bit sad that I have this wrong color, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with that, but if I were to get this again, I would get it in the shea color, the one that I tried, because that's a really, really good match. Like I said, I know one of you had a question about if that sand is too dark, then what is it? Then it's shea. So that's a really good one. Easy to go from day to night. Sometimes I've got to do that. I've got a full day and then I have an evening event and then I need to get ready and don't have time to redo everything. So that's what I'll do. I'll just add a little bit more intensity here to the eye area, a brighter lip, and then a little bit more mascara. And then as for the eye pots, they're very nice. I mean, I like them for, like I said, Saturday morning or just everyday makeup. So if you work in a conservative office environment, I think these are great because they're not too much, but it looks like you're put together, but again, you can't really tell what is going on, which I like about it. And again, the bronzer and the blush are a couple of my favorite things that I've used for probably about a year now. I really like those too. So out of all of these, what would I recommend? The foundation is very nice. There are lots of very nice foundations out there. It's a little bit heavier than, say, a fluid foundation. How does it compare with a Clé de Peau? I know is probably the next question you're gonna ask me. The foundation, I have not tried them side by side, so I do need to do that. And I also need to get a full size of that, which I haven't gotten yet. I did pick up the fluid version of it, which I'm using now because it's warm. So I will pick up the foundation when it gets cooler again. So it'll be maybe a few months until I do that, but I will compare them for you. The price point already, Chantecaille is much more reasonable in the fact that it's about less than half price. These eye products are also very nice. And then these two products, I love these, especially for the summer. When I think of Chantecaille and what I have, I think of more subtle makeup, more everyday, more undetectable kinds of makeup. I'm sure you could build it up and make it very intense if you wanted to, but that's how I use these products. So that's what I like about them. So my perception when I think of this brand is very natural, everyday wearable makeup that's high quality and work really well together. So that is my perception of this. I'm very happy I have all of these things. I do wear these, like I said, especially on weekends, Saturday mornings, and also everyday kinds of things. And I do reach, as you can see, for these quite often. They're almost empty. And then I'm still just kind of getting used to the foundation. Again, it's getting warmer here, so I don't know how much I'm gonna wear this one as much. Maybe for more evening types of things. But yeah, when I looked in the mirror, it was just the foundation. I think you can see it, it reflects a little bit, like I'm looking at it right now. I actually didn't finish off for once in my life with the Hourglass Radiant Light. I didn't, so whatever radiance you see is from the products I used, plus a little bit of powder, and it actually did not set on the exterior, so you could see there's any reflection happening, any reflective qualities. Without powder, it would be on the exterior. I hope that was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know if you have any questions, if you learned something. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. And then I went ahead and I just did eyebrows. I used the Anastasia, it's the Chantecaille Radiance, of course it's Chantecaille. It's with my navy eyeshadow again. No. I'm gonna change the lip because I know you wanted to see this as well. It's the Clé de Peau Rouge Luminous. Why do I try? Okay.